Hey, everybody. How are you doing today? Whether you are watching the replay or here live with me, I would love for you to say hello and let me know you're here. Today, we're going to use a template and hand letter this chalkboard sign because it's really a wood sign, but I'm going to give it a chalkboard look with a white paint pen here in just a moment. And as you hop on, say hello. I have a template here that I'm going to use because I was going to show you, you probably saw me post, here it is. You probably saw me post a video where I was hand lettering this sign. And so I was freehanding it on that video, but today I'm going to use a template so that you can see that if you have taken my class, you may feel comfortable going ahead and trying to freehand it. But if you do not feel comfortable with that, I have a template for you. So we're going to grab that template. Notice it looks very similar. And I'm going to be using white because I have a black background. I'm going to be using white graphite paper. And I'm calling it graphite paper. It might be called carbon paper. I'd have to look at the actual packaging, but I don't have that in here. So this is, hey, Maureen, it's so good to see you here. This is a different type of graphite paper than what I used last week. Last week, I was lettering on a wood sign with a white background, and I could see, this graphite paper because it was on a white background. But what do you do if you have a black one? You could still use graphite, like the regular graphite paper, but it's so much nicer to have the lines be white. So this one, let me make sure I've got the right side. Yeah, okay. So the side that looks a little, I know you probably can't tell it on camera, but the side that looks a little more yellowy in color, like this looks more stark white than this. Oh, you can kind of see it. That is the side I'm going to lay down. And then I'm going to take my template and put it on there. And I'm going to feel for my frame. I did this last week with the other. I'm going to scoot it down a little, feel for that frame. See how I'm putting that crease right there? And then pressing just all around like so. Now, I did size this template to fit this exact board. And if you're in my Digital Dust subscription, there is a way to take these traceables or templates and resize them. And I show you that in the member area. Like when you first log in, there's a section that says, how to use your files. And so it will show you how to do that if you don't have a board that's this size. So no worries there. You can use these templates for any size you desire, even if it's bigger than the paper that you need. So you can blow it up and have it print multiple sheets to create a larger template. Okay, so to get started, and today's live is going to be, I hope, brief and brilliant for you. We're going to go in, and I'm just going to lay down the bones of the lettering. That happens. You got to, well, with a mechanical pencil. I love using a mechanical pencil because we homeschool, and my boys, I feel like I would have to sharpen them all the time if I didn't have mechanical. But then, okay, have y'all ever noticed with mechanical pencils? Oh no, I moved my crease. Look at here. I messed up. So that's not cool. You can't see it, but can you tell that? Yeah, okay, look, my H was going to go up too high because I shifted whenever I got to talking. So I tell you what, now we'll get to see how it works out whenever I need to erase. So let me go grab a little rag. I'm going to try to wash this off and see how easy it is. So hang tight. I'll be right back. Water. Okay. Got a little water bottle. All right, let's see how easy this is to come off. I've never had to do this on a live, but I think it'll work. Okay. It's not coming off, at least not easily. So I had somebody last time say to use a wet wipe. I don't know if a wet wipe would do any better, but I tell you what, you can still see a little bit of the ghost lines. I'm going to try to get this dry really quick so that we can come back in with our paint pen here in a moment. But I can work with this. It looks gone on camera, but there is, like, to my eye on here, I can still see a little bit. I wonder about an eraser. So you see those ghost lines? Can y'all see that? I'm going to come in and try an eraser. All right, that's taking it off the rest of the way. So I like that this just happened because that shows, I was going to say you can also tape down your template, but I usually don't mess it up. Okay, this eraser is taking it off the rest of the way pretty good. So if you're using your carbon paper and you come across this, at least you don't have to flip out. It'll be an easy fix. So we're going to erase that. Sorry, my camera's shaking so much. So we're looking good. I'm going to give it one more swipe with the rag and get right back into it. All right. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to use the same template, but let me flip it around and get my stuff in line because I need to fill that frame. There we go, because it fills up the whole thing. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to have to make myself stop and focus and not shift it around. So I'm just going back over those bones, laying down some new lines. And it will be so nice to have these guidelines while I'm lettering the sign out for you. And then while I'm doing that, I'll talk to you about how I know where to thicken up and give you some lettering tips along the way. I feel like I was saying something whenever I realized. Oh, I was saying about mechanical pencils. I cannot stand it whenever the lead is like, you know how you'll have the lead out, but then you go to write and it like all pushes back up in there. That is so annoying. And that happens all the time. And I don't know why. Okay. There you go. Almost done. And this is just going to lay out the bones of the lettering, giving us a guideline to work with. Let's see. I know you can't tell it really good, but look at here. I love it. I love that. And there, I don't know where that dot goes, but I love that you have the guidelines laid out. And so this is where I had freehanded it. And then now this will let me mimic another sign. So let's say you are pretty good at your freehand, but hey, Aurora, hey, Lori. So let's say you're pretty good at freehand, but you're selling products that you want to recreate. So for instance, I put this sign on my Shopify site for sale. Well, I had some more blanks like this. So I put quantity 4 because I knew I had 4 blanks like this. And when someone purchased this, like I took a picture of this one, put it up. And so when someone, I sold 2. So now I can ship this one that I had used for the thumbnail and create one that looks identical to it. And I can know that I'm doing the same thing because I'm using the template. So, hey, Jane, It's so good to see you here. All right, so I'm going to come in with my Posca pen and just come in on all those downstrokes. Y'all saw me press a little right here. But this also lets the person get something that is still unique, because this one is not going to be quite identical to this one. And even if I'm using a template each time, there will still be hand-lettered uniqueness to each one, because it's not going to come out identical every time. Now, it would if I were using like a Cricut machine or a Silhouette machine, which if you have a Digital Dust subscription, you can do that too, because I give you like SVG files and DXF files for those. But if you want to use it for hand lettering, then you can still say, you know, I hand lettered that. You just had a little bit of a help. I don't even want to say cheat. It kind of is like a cheat sheet, but I don't want to say that because I don't want you to feel bad about it. Hey, Rona. It's so good to see you here too. Oh, well, thank you. And okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Heart of y'all. I'm probably totally mispronouncing your name. I'm so sorry. What? Oh my goodness, y'all. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. So I was at our homeschool co-op and I helped co-lead a class called Around the World in Picture Books. And it's for second and third graders. So our first class, we had third grade and they were all girls. And I sit down to read the storybook, and we were supposed to be visiting Holland. That was the Netherlands, and we were zoomed in on Holland. So I'm reading this book, and it was called The Little Boy Who Held Back the Sea or something like that. I might have that title wrong, but I'm reading the book, and the little boy's name was Jan. And I just go on the whole story, and my co-teacher, she's my friend, and she probably knew that I was saying it wrong, but she's sweet and she didn't correct me. And I just kept on thinking in my mind while I'm reading this book, why did they name this little boy Jan? And then later, because she's sweet and didn't call me out, she said Jan or John, something. And I went, Megan, oh my goodness, I was saying Jan the whole time about this little boy. Why didn't you correct me? And she was like, yeah, it's fine. And she said, I just thought, that's your accent and everything. And she's not from Louisiana originally. So I was dying. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about it. Like, I'm so not cultured and would even think that could not be pronounced the same way as what we're used to. I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, so to talk to you a little bit about what I'm working on, I am going in on every downstroke and retracing in a new place, causing those letters to get thicker. Well, causing those strokes to get thicker on the letters. So on these upstrokes, I'm staying in the same place of my bones that I traced, but on these downstrokes, I'm not. So now I'm going to come over, around, and up, and then see this was a downstroke. So I retrace in a new place, and boom, you just brought that letter to life. There we go. Names are so tricky. Allie, I'm doing great today. How are you? I really fought coming live today because, y'all, I have a brand new niece that I want to spend all my time with, and I just probably would bug my sister to death. But I have a sister that's 12 years younger than me, if you didn't know that, and she just had her first baby girl, and it's a girl. And if you know me, I have 3 boys, and so I am just smitten by this sweet little girl. And because today is my day where I have, like, me and a friend, the same friend I just told you about, Megan, we swap up homeschooling. So I homeschool hers on Monday. She homeschools mine on Wednesday because she works as a nurse too. So we get to, this is my work day. And I thought, I could work or I could go sit with my sweet niece, but I didn't do it. I am going to try to get out of here early today though. And before I pick up the boys, swing by and just give her some snuggles. It's so sweet having another newborn in the family. And you forget how little they are. Oh my goodness. It feels like such a dream, like a phase in my mind, my boys being that little. But she is, let's see. not quite 2 months. No, yeah, she's in between a month and 2 months old now, and she's so sweet. Okay, Regina, thank you so much. Yes, praise God. I was so thankful that the birth went good, everything went good. So she is home and doing great. Okay. Now, this was not the same. It wasn't that modern calligraphy style, but I still did go thicken up the downstrokes. I didn't talk about that, but you may have noticed it. And in the online class that I offer, I do go over print letters too, not just this calligraphy style. And I talk about all that as well. But basically, you just come in, see how I did right there. Just come back in on that downstroke, make it just a little bit thicker than the upstroke so that, oh, here, we can see it right here. This is a print U. So on this left side, since it was the downstroke, I thickened that up a little bit. All right. So worship while you wait. Has anybody ever had to wait on God to answer a prayer? I feel like that is a duh. So how hard is it to wait, especially if it's something that you've been waiting years for? So I did want to kind of mention this. When I made this sign, it reminded me of a time. Okay, I'm retracing a new place, filling it in. It reminded me of a time I heard a sermon where we were told, like, okay, wait. So you ever heard the scripture that says, wait on the Lord? Well, like what can we pull from that was this sermon. And he was talking about, and this, it really spoke to me because I used to wait tables. I used to wait tables. Actually, I worked at a Chili's way back in the day in college. And he said, when you think of the word wait, we automatically think, just sit and twiddle our thumbs. Do you do this? My grandmother taught me this as a little girl, to twiddle my thumbs, go back and forth. And then she'd say, you got to wind it up and then you got to unwind it. And that would keep me busy because I was a wanting to go all the time type of kid. And we think when we hear wait on the Lord, it's like you just, do nothing. You sit and wait for an answer, you pray or whatever. But his and I don't remember where I was. I don't remember. Does that ever happen to y'all? Like the sermon and what was said will stick in your mind. And that's obviously the Holy Spirit speaking to us. But the time and place, I don't even remember where I was or who preached to this. But he talked about when we are waiting on the Lord, that it doesn't mean we just do nothing. We worship while we wait. And waiting on the Lord is not just worshiping. Well, this is a part of worship, is serving him. So I imagine like serving tables. We are waiters like I was a waiter back then. You're waiting on the people. You're doing, so he was taking it, instead of waiting being passive, that it's an active thing, that we serve God while we wait on him. And that's an act of worship. So if you're praying for something right now, maybe the Lord wants you to hear, just keep serving him. Oh, hey, Susan. Oh, my goodness, from Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. I wish I was there for a moment just to see that pretty beach. But wait on the Lord, serve him while you wait, and he will answer in his sovereign timing. That is what we have to submit to, which is so hard for us as feeble humans. Y'all, I have a reel on Instagram that has been getting a whole lot of attention, which means a lot of people that I don't know have seen it. And so they're commenting. And one comment was so funny. So in the reel, I have it over here on Facebook too, but for some reason on Instagram, it has gone like viral or whatever. And it says, God has been so gracious to this imperfect piece of dust. And I'm talking about myself because like the name of my business, Imperfect Dust, that's kind of where it came from, was Psalm 103, 13 and 14, I believe it is. And the person said, did you just call yourself a piece of dust? And I was like, yes, I actually did. And I gave the verse that it came from or whatever. Why did I bring this up? There was something I was saying that went with it. Oh, I just said because we're so feeble or whatever. And I think one of the key things about your relationship with the Lord is knowing your need for him and how we are like feeble and in need of him to act for us. And anyway, it just not cracked me up, but it was just like, oh wow, I didn't even think about like when I said that people could think I was being derogatory towards myself or whatever. But I don't think anything of it. Like we're imperfect pieces of dust. So anyway, okay. So this is it done. And so now we see it compared to this one I freehanded. But see, they're similar enough to where if you purchased one, you would, you're good with it because they look so much alike. So these templates, if you just hopped on, I used this template before I started, are going to be your hack if you want to offer multiple products to people and then still keep the same look. Or you can always use the Cricut or Silhouette file so that you can get it the exact same every time. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you are curious about all the templates that I offer, you can comment digital and I will send you a link to the Digital Dust library. It's a subscription where you get access to over 350 designs immediately and then 10 new designs each month. So there's that. Okay, I told y'all that today I would be brief and brilliant, or at least try. So I am going to go ahead and let y'all go today. And thank you so much for watching and being here. And these two are now going to go get packaged up, and maybe I can get to town in time to see my niece before I have to pick up the kids. Hey, Becky. Okay, I was just hopping off. Hey, Angela. I'm so glad that you're here. And I was just hopping off, so definitely check out the replay. Okay, thanks, y'all. Bye-bye.